Hi everyone, welcome to Tales of Dread. Tonight's story is about a man who was out with his girlfriend eating Chinese food. Instead of going back to the motel like they had planned, she wanted to go on a late-night walk alone in the nearby woods. The problem is that she didn't come back. Keep watching. This is something you won't want to miss. If you just found this channel, please subscribe, click that bell, give that thumbs up, and tell a friend. Now let's get spooky. I've been gone for a day. I went back to the police station because the sheriff told me to when I first told him that Abby was missing. Abby told me that she was okay. 24 hours have been lost. What do these police officers in small towns even do all day? When I left the motel, I was confused because we were only supposed to stay in this town for a day. In the middle of nowhere, we took a short walk around town and ate dinner at one of the Chinese restaurants. Abby wanted to go for a walk in the woods while the sun was still up, but I wanted to go back to the motel. I'll be fine. Return to the motel. I still can't believe I didn't go with her. As I walked into the police station, I saw an old man with a scar on his left cheek staring at me from outside. Once again, I found myself sitting across from Sheriff McGill at his small desk before the sheriff got dressed. But now I could tell for sure that he had been drinking. The mug that said "World's Best Father" was now being used as an ashtray. From the number of cigarette ends in the mug, it looks like the sheriff smoked quite a bit. So Amy McGill hasn't said anything yet, Abby said while pinching the space between his eyes. I told him what to do, and no, something is wrong, as I told you yesterday. She never went hours without talking to anyone. I said with thinly veiled annoyance and impatience in my voice. Okay, son, here's what will happen. McGill said as he looked at me sternly. The woods will be searched by police. They won't be able to find her. How could you possibly know? I tried to speak up when McGill put his finger up. Let me finish. You were going to go back to the motel room and put salt on the windowsills and at the front door. You'll hear someone knocking on your door later tonight, and Abby will be there. You won't be opening the door. You won't let her in, right? Why wouldn't you? I yelled. Now that I'm facing him, my face is red with anger. I was given a piece of paper with a phone number on it by Sheriff McGill. You were supposed to call this number instead. I'll take care of it, and you won't open the door until I tell you to. McGill went on as if my outburst hadn't happened. Then you will leave Woodfall alone, and you will never tell anyone else about this. In the woods, Abby got lost. We did our best. But no one ever found her. Do you understand, son? McGill said this in a way that made it sound like he was worried. I swung open McGill's office door and walked out, yelling a number of swear words and accusations about how smart he was. I saw McGill pick up the phone and start dialing. You'll need to clean up room 3 and get the other rooms ready. As I ran out of the sheriff's office, I heard him say something. The stupid people in this small town think I'm a fool. Holes. Can't even be bothered to look into a case of someone going missing. They're probably laughing so hard that they can't stop. I thought this as I crossed the street to get to the motel. I walked by East Garden, where I had dinner with Abby the night before. How are you? The sound came from behind me. When I turned around, the waitress from the night before, Jasmine, was standing there. Why are there so many cops? Abby went for a walk in the woods and didn't come back, and those a-holes aren't even trying to find her. It started to rain for a while. Jasmine used to have a happy look on her face, but now it was sad. Just a short time ago, she didn't come back from the woods. Jason. She shouldn't have been in those woods at all. There are some old and strange things. She won't be the first or last person to go missing in those woods. What are they? I asked. I couldn't tell you. So many stories can be told. Let's be honest, you wouldn't believe any of them, would you? I wouldn't do that. I said this as I walked quickly away from Jasmine in the restaurant, breathing heavily behind me. I heard footsteps going at the same speed as mine. No one was there when I turned around to see who was following me. I walked by the convenience store, went inside, and went straight to the liquor aisle, where I grabbed a bottle of vodka. When I turned around to go to the cashier, I saw the bald man with the scar on his left cheek walk into the store. I kept looking at him until he turned around and walked away. Once the vodka was paid for, when I got back to my motel room, I couldn't find the keys. I realized I didn't have them with me. At the reception desk was a very old lady. I apologize. It looks like I've misplaced my room case. Could you give me a spare, please? As I signed and rubbed my eyes, I asked. Sure, no problem, Sonny. Is everything okay? The woman asked, glaring at the bottle of vodka. This day is terrible in every way. I'm sorry. Please just give me my key. Tomorrow, I have a long drive back to New York. Sure, I understand. I guess the police aren't much help. But, are you leaving without your girlfriend? She wanted to know? It doesn't look like I have much of a choice, but I will go to the police in New York and I won't give up on her. The woman gave a nod. What is the number of your room again? Honey. Old age has made me forgetful. 3, you're right. 3. Here it is. As I reached for the key, I saw a bag of salt on the floor next to the desk. As I turned to leave the front office, I saw salt on the windowsills and at the front door. I was angry about this superstition, so I made sure to break up the line of salt at the doorway. When I got back to my room, I drank the vodka quickly and then passed out drunk on the bed. As I slept, the rain got worse. I woke up when lightning struck just outside the motel. I was drenched in sweat. As I stumbled to the bathroom to take some painkillers for my throbbing headache, the room was hot, musty, and humid. I saw salt on the windowsills and at the front door, so I knew that someone had been in my room while I was drunk and passed out. Stupid superstition, I told myself as I thought about the bald man who had been following me and looked in my pockets to see if he had taken anything. I saw that my wallet and car key were gone. I only had the key to the spare room and a piece of paper with a phone number on it that Sheriff McGill had given me. I had to look out the window again because there was another flash of lightning. I saw that there were at least a dozen flies on the outside of the window. They were more than twice as big as the biggest fly I'd ever seen. In the far away, I heard a low humming sound that quickly became louder and I noticed the glass of the window started vibrating. As more flies landed on the window, the rain stopped all of a sudden. When I went to open the door, I smelled something rotten and sour that I couldn't quite put my finger on and didn't want to. I ran to the bathroom because I could no longer hold it in any longer. Get lost. As I got up from the bathroom floor and yelled to the person on the other side of the door, Jason, it's me for a moment. It felt like time froze. When I heard Abby's voice, I was thrilled and overjoyed. I ran to the door and opened it quickly. Abby's legs had long, deep cuts all over them, and a rash was spreading around them. Her clothes were torn and stained with mud, blood, and other things I couldn't quite make out. And now that horrible smell was in the room, and flies were buzzing all around her. What went wrong? Are you okay? How did you hurt yourself? I asked quickly after each other. Jason, I'm fine. I really just want to go inside. Can I come inside? Abby replied in a strangely boring way. Of course you can't. I stopped and looked down. I saw smoke coming up from the ground and a line of salt in front of the door. It had started to turn black, and it smelled like it had been burned. Jason, may I come in? Abby kept saying the same thing over and over again for a while. I thought about how silly everything was. Why did she ask if she could come inside? How did McGill know that this would take place? What's happening with this black salt? Jason, may I come in? Before I could answer her, I heard a loud bang coming from behind Abby. She fell forward onto her knees and let out a high-pitched, inhuman screech. Before I knew what was going on, I saw McGill stand behind her shotgun and point it at Abby. He had put more in. Another loud bang happened. This time, he shot her in the back of the head. She screamed and shook as she fell to the ground, but then she was silent and couldn't move again. The flies took off. I looked at him with tears in my eyes and realized that this was not the Abby I had known. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Salt, Miguel said. He then pointed to Abby's body, which was dead. Look, Jason, at where she was shot. Tell me what you see, because I'm still not sure what it all means. I looked and saw that her body was covered with dying, blood-red plants in the shape of stars. They were still crying over Abby. I took another look at McGill. These are evil freaking plants, son. In the woods, they found a way to get inside her. She died soon after this. This wasn't Abby, it was just some plants moving her body like a puppet. You would have ended up like her if you had let her in. McGill said as he looked at Abby's body from below. The plants had turned black and started to die. A bald man in a police uniform came out of the front office and gave me back my keys and wallet. I'm so sorry about everything. We couldn't let you go until everything was taken care of. She would have been there. We can't let it get outside of town. The man told his son, listen, don't try to figure out what's going on here. You're not going to be able to take it from me. McGill said, I've been through this before, as I looked up at the sky in a daze. Now that we have found the body, we will take care of it, and Abby will be just another person who got lost in the woods and died. Right, I did not answer, son. I replied without emotion, I'm going to need to hear you say it. Abby got lost in the woods, and I need to know what happened, because I can't just keep quiet and let so many other people die the same way as Abby. Now, I have a feeling that a certain sheriff will be here soon. Well, I hope the story tonight was fun for you guys. If you just found this channel, please subscribe, smash that bell, give it a thumbs up, and tell your friends and family about it. Good night, and keep being scary.